Does the idea of sexuality make you uncomfortable? Do you feel the pressure to perform at sexiness? What if there was no shame? How would you then feel about your pleasure? Hello and welcome to Masala Podcast. I'm Sangeeta Pillai and this is the Bad Daughter miniseries. What is a bad daughter? A bad daughter is someone who challenges patriarchy, talks about taboo topics, doesn't take no for an answer. And guess what? This season, I'm going to get more personal, even more personal than I've ever done before. Are you ready, my bad daughters?
Besharam, Badtameez, Gandhi, hi, bad beti.
In this episode, I'm talking about our sexual and sensual self. And by that, I don't mean how to please a partner in bed or all those moves the magazines tell you to make. I'm talking about real sexuality, the pleasure that makes us move and talk in a certain way. If you feel shy, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel dissatisfied, if you feel entirely disconnected from your sexual self, this is the episode for you. How did it begin for me? I want to tell you a story about my first boyfriend. I was maybe 21. It was my first relationship. The first time I'd had sex. And the first time we had sex, I was expecting it to be like the movies, like the books, like the things I'd read about. It was none of that. It was just blah. And I remember thinking, surely there's more to this than that. Surely I'm supposed to feel these amazing feelings in my body. And I used to be very nervous back in those days. I had no courage, but I plucked up the courage and I remember talking to him. And I said, look, every time we have sex, I don't really feel anything. And I don't know, could we do something different? He turned it on me. He said, well, all the other girlfriends I've had no complaints. And I remember feeling like maybe there was something wrong with me. I remember reading a lot of books and going on to online to see what happens if you can't orgasm. Those are the words I typed in. And it's only now when I look back and I think he didn't know what he was doing, but instead of addressing that, he kind of put it on me and I took it. So that was my first experience. Not great. I'm sure you can relate to that because young women are taught from a very young age to outsource their pleasure. We are taught that a man will come along and then we'll feel pleasure. We are taught that we make our bodies into a certain size or a shape. We are taught that we need to smell a certain way, look a certain way, dress a certain way, and then we get the prize of pleasure. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Your pleasure, your sensuality has nothing to do with someone else. It sits completely within you. That you have the power to access your own pleasure at any time you want. Pleasure is profound. Pleasure is so much more than just sexual. Pleasure is just waiting for us to slow down, to notice beyond the frenzied rush of life. Pleasure is the simple weight of a soft, cozy blanket piled high on a cold morning. It is the slow, silent joy of sunlight warming your cheek. It lives in the comfort of a hot cup of tea held between your two hands, steam curling up, tickling your nose. Pleasure is the clean, earthy smell of rain hitting dry, parched pavements. It is the tingling feeling of bare feet touching cool, wet grass. Pleasure is the silk of a dress moving against your skin. Pleasure is the feel of warm water flooding your skin as you step into a shower. Pleasure is cutting a mango in your kitchen sink, letting the juice dribble all over your white t-shirt because you can't wait to bite into that soft yellow flesh. Pleasure is everywhere. Pleasure is all around. The question is, are we ready to stop and notice pleasure? So what's the price we pay? When we disconnect from our own bodies, when we have no access to our sexuality, we walk around waiting for other people to validate us, and we forget that we are these powerhouses of pleasure. We might live an entire life where we don't experience pleasure, where we've never experienced an orgasm. And it's not even about orgasms, it's about pleasure that you own in your body. If I'd stayed stuck in the story that my first boyfriend had fed me, I would go my entire life without accessing any of the pleasure that I do now access. I learned over the years that I have the ability, and all of us have the ability to use all our senses to feel real pleasure. Think of how the shower feels on your skin, or food tastes in your mouth, or the earth feels under your feet. When you listen to a piece of music, how that resonates in the body. So these are the different ways we have access to pleasure, if only we allow ourselves to go there. That's what I did. That was directly contradictory to my culture, which told me my sexuality depended on my husband, someone else had to give me an orgasm, I had to wait, it was all external. So different to what I experience now. So what could you do to access your sensual side? Here are a few things that I tried. Explore different senses. Ask yourself what feels good. Take the attention away from a partner or even sex toys. Pay attention to subtle pleasures, like the feel of fabrics, like the warmth of a candle, your favorite foods, your favorite perfume. Give yourself a slow, gentle massage, paying attention to what feels good and what parts of your body you usually neglect. Take the emphasis away from orgasm. We live in such a results-driven society. Just focus on the build-up of sensation, your breathing, your connection to yourself. And here's one thing which I've tried. Some people find this challenging, but I would urge you to try it. Stand in front of the mirror. Take your clothes off. See yourself through the eyes of someone who absolutely adores you. Keep that voice down that says, my stomach's too big, my this is too that, whatever. And just love yourself. Give love to yourself, to all those parts of yourself that you feel insecure about. I know this might feel a little bit strange or weird, but I promise you, this will transform your relationship with your pleasure. It will change the fact that you don't have to rely on someone else to give you pleasure, that the pleasure is all yours. Your sensual pleasure is entirely yours. It needs no permission. It needs no one else but you. It's all about turning inwards, away from the seeking and the performing. It is about shutting the voices that make you feel any less than the glorious, glimmering being that you are. Your sensuality is about unlocking the pulsating center that you hold in the deepest parts of yourself. Your sensuality is a gift bestowed upon you by Mother Nature, and she wants you to have fun with it. Treat yourself like the most ardent lover would. Give yourself permission to trace the curve of your own collarbone, to gaze at the curve of your calves, to feel the softness of your hair as it falls on your shoulders, to admire the lines of your neck as you fasten your necklace. Your pleasure rises from a place that cannot be given and cannot be taken. Your pleasure is a power that belongs to no one else. It is yours and yours alone. I'd love to read you an extract from my book Bad Daughter, available to buy. I talk about the first few experiences that I had with my own pleasure. Little Indian girls are taught to associate shame with their bodies. Chi chi in Hindi, ayye in Malayalam. Dirty, shameful. These are words spoken to little girls in homes all over India. I remember the first time I saw my naked body. It was in the reflection of the shower tap. I was perhaps 14 years old when I gasped at what I saw reflected on the tap. Breasts? Whose breasts were these? When did I grow them? Gosh, I looked like a woman. I remember being so shocked to realize that I now had these women parts. And the shower is where I experienced pleasure for the first time. It happened by accident. I was washing myself and turned the shower head to my pubic area and gasped out. The feeling was so intense. My hand shot out to move the shower away. Then, slowly, curious, I moved the shower head slowly, gingerly, towards my thighs. That felt good. Then I moved it over my vulva. Oh wow, what was that feeling? That almost unbearable sensation. My hand, of its own volition, moved the shower head this way and that over my pubic mound. I used my fingers to part the lips of my vulva with one hand and then aimed the shower into my most delicate woman parts. I didn't even know what it was called then. I just knew it was incredibly sensitive. I almost fell onto the floor, overwhelmed by the amazing, almost dizzying sensation. Soft sounds escaped my lips, and I knew they were quiet enough so that no one else would hear them. What was beautiful was that my body knew exactly what to do, even if I had no idea what I was doing. My mouth produced a massive ah, and my body sank to the bathroom floor. I felt wet and hot and flushed with joy at what had just happened. I wondered, did other people know about this? Were they doing this all the time? I stayed on the bathroom floor for a few minutes, waiting for my breathing and heart rate to return to normal. There's another bit I want to read you, which is in a bathroom in Kerala. I was in Kerala at my grandparents' house during my college summer holidays, bathing under the stars. Old Kerala bathrooms didn't have roofs. They were basic structures built to stay ventilated, let the air and the elements in. I went in carrying my heated water and poured it into the enclosure for the bath and then latched the door. It was late evening and it was beautiful. The heat and humidity had subsided. The air was pleasant. I looked up at the sky and saw the twinkling stars, the planets, the moon shining down on me. I could hear the cicadas start their rhythmic clicking, slowly at first, then swelling into a crescendo, as if all the cicada friends and family had joined in. I started to bathe, pouring the warm water over myself. In that moment, I felt connected. I felt sensual. My naked body, now glistening with water, was connected to the earth, to the stars, to the moon. I felt all woman, all female, all powerful. A sort of pulsating started in my vulva. I was turned on, but it didn't feel like it did when I was in the shower. I didn't need to amplify the pleasure or to reach the crescendo of the sensations that my shower had produced. I just stood there, under the stars, my body wet, my spirit soaring, full of the earth and its magic. I listened to the cicadas, enjoying the throbbing, quivering sensation in the deepest, most female parts of my body. I could really feel my breasts, and even that tiny throbbing part of me, which I later learned was my clitoris, responding to the open sky and the lush drama of nature. I was being turned on and played by Mother Nature, and my entire being was responding, tingling, vibrating, pulsating, emanating. I just stood there, feeling it all, soaking it all in. I took a long bath under the open sky, surrounded by the darkness and the lushness of that Kerala night. If you enjoyed that extract, you'll love my book, Bad Daughter. It's about my story going from the slums of Mumbai to the billboards of New York via a healing stopover in Kerala. It's about the pressure that all women face to be good girls. My readers love it. Here are some of the things they tell me. This is the best book I've ever read, says Hattie. This book made me cry, but also made my heart sore, says Archana. Your book made me think of my own inner voice and the stories I tell myself, says Caroline. So go to baddaughter.co.uk or type Bad Daughter on Amazon. I invite you to stake claim to your pleasure. I invite you to stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to unlock your own sensuality. We have given away the power of our pleasure for too long. We have treated pleasure like something we must work towards, something we need to earn. This ends now. Stop. Take a pause. Listen to your body. It holds the simple truth. You are the source. Go quiet. Go inward and feel the core of your power. Our pleasure is our power source. And when we disconnect from it, we give away that power. It's time to shut down all the voices that make us feel small, feel less, feel undesirable. It's time to take back our pleasure, our sensuality, our life force. It is time. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Masala Podcast. Come tell me about it. I'm on Instagram as Soul Sutras. I'm on TikTok as Masala Podcast. And if you loved it, share it. Share it with your mum, share it with your sisters, share it with your friends. I've also got a Bad Daughter course on my website on baddaughter.co.uk. I promise you it's fun. Imagine a week in lush tropical Kerala, eating gorgeous food, surrounded by the sisterhood. Welcome to the anti-retreat, where it's all real. Real spirituality, real sisterhood, real Kerala food, real visits to sacred temples. Your money supports local Kerala women, so you'll be making a real difference. This is all part of my retreat in February. Go check out baddaughter.co.uk/Kerala retreats.